Hello YouTubers, Mike here, heading off on another Wyoming rockhounding adventure. Just me this time. So the girls have all flown back home to Florida and Ohio, so I'm on my own out here for a while. And I'm sure my wife's going to be upset that she's going to miss this, because it's an area we both want to go look at. So, maybe if it turns out to be a really pretty and productive area, the next time she's out here, we'll probably go together and check it out. We'll be out here again in a couple of months to our Wyoming place. So I'm just leaving the Wyoming ranch, the L&M ranch that we have here in Wyoming, and I'm going to head out into the back of Beyond here in Wyoming and see if we can find some cool rocks. So it's going to be a little bit of a drive. I'm not even out to the main road yet. Got quite a ways to go to get to the main road, asphalt. And then I got about an hour's drive to get to the place we're going. And wife and I have been wondering what it's like out there. So I'm going to go take a look. Yep, haven't even made it to the main road yet. And I got about an hour's drive on the asphalt to the turnoff on the more dirt roads to get where we're going. So it's going to be a while before I get there. So I'll pick up once we're in the area. So you don't have to watch the whole hour-long drive out there. Okay, we turned off the highway and we're headed up into the mountains here. See what there is to see up here. The wife and I have driven past this 1,000 times and wondered what's out here. Well, today's the day to find out. So that's Copper Mountain over there. We'll go up to the pass and see what's up that direction. And there's some other dirt roads that radiate off of this one, so we got lots of area to explore. Probably won't get all of it explored on one trip, so this may take multiple trips. See if we can find anything interesting out here. Oh, we're a mile or two up the road. I actually got out and looked at some of the rocks piled up alongside the road here. Probably dug up cutting the road and didn't see anything really interesting. But up ahead on the left, got some interesting looking stuff, some kind of badlandy looking stuff. I think I'll get up a little closer to it here. I think I'll get out and do a little hiking, go over and see if there's anything interesting. There's rock outcrop over there, and see if there's anything interesting over there. It's a short hike through the scrub. Park off the road here. This stuff's good and green, not too worried about the catalytic converter starting to fire. Let's get off the road and we'll go take a look at that, see what's over there. Okay, parked the truck, got out, got my bucket, rock hammer, gloves in there, walking stick, also good for rattling the grass in front of you and scaring off snakes, which we've seen a few in our travels out here. But just outside the truck, just get out of the truck and, well, a nice piece of banded iron right there. Huh. I mean, it's not a showpiece, but it's a nice piece of banded iron. And, the rocks here are quite a bit more interesting than the ones that were beside the road back there. So, yeah, maybe we got some good stuff eroding out of these hills ahead of me. I got to get over this hill to get over to those hills. And I'll just hunt my way over there and see if we find anything interesting. There's my first piece of banded iron. I'll throw it in a bucket, even though it's not exactly a showpiece. If I find better ones, it may get left behind. So let me hunt my way up towards those badlandy looking hills. All right, well, you can just see the top of the truck over there. I've hiked up this hill. Didn't see much along the way. It's pretty boring, but almost over here to this area, but finally see another piece of banded iron down here. Again, nothing to really write home about, but you know, at least I'm finding some. That was on my list of things to find today. Banded iron, agates, Wyoming jade, any of that. So we'll throw that in the bucket, even though, like I say, it's not a great specimen. You know, I've only found 2 so far. But as I get closer, I can see the geology up ahead's kind of interesting. So let me keep hiking. And, you know, I'm going slow, head down, looking at the rocks. So it's taking me a little while to get over there. So hiking along, getting a little closer. And found my first piece that's looking kind of agate-y. If I grind that surface down and polish it, that might be agate-y in there. Got some nice crystals on it. Yeah, it might be agate-y on that side too. So that goes in the bucket. And I found a couple of these. I don't know what they are. Some sort of nodule. I don't know. I collected one, but I'm leaving the others just because I'm not sure that they're valuable. I can always come back here in the future if it turns out there's something good inside them. Also found a couple more pieces of banded iron as I'm getting up this hill. What's this over here? It kind of stands out because it looks different. Not sure. So anyway, I'm looking. So I said my goals for this trip were banded iron, agate, and jade, should I find any jade. And, well, there's one more thing on the menu. Fossils. So this looks a lot like the kind of country that Leslie and I go fossil hunting in Nebraska every spring. So once I work my way over there, and it looks like there's a steep downhill grade up here now that I've climbed up this hill. Yeah, work my way down this hill here to get over there. I'll check that out for fossils too. See if it's at all fossiliferous. But while I'm standing up on top of this hill, let me look around for any more interesting rocks where I head down there. I'm still walking around up on top of this hill. It's kind of an interesting area. Found a really big chunk of banded iron, but the banding in it's not very pretty. The thing's almost solid yellow with real subtle banding. I could try cutting and polishing it, I suppose, but I don't know if it'd turn out any good. But over here, got something else interesting. I suppose this is banded iron too. Got some really interesting banding and veining in it. Another piece. And what's this over here? These might all be from the same rock. I don't know. Kind of split up by freeze-thaw cycles. I don't know. Chunk of pink granite over here. Yeah, pieces falling off of it too. I guess it's the freeze-thaw cycles. So I think I'm going to take these 3 pieces and throw them in a bucket. See if I can do something with them, because they're kind of pretty. Where's my bucket? Way over there. And look around this area some more, because there are some interesting rocks here. That's got some banding in it. I'm not sure if that's banded iron, but it's got some weird color bands in it. Closer look at that. Some of this stuff almost, you know, that might be petrified wood. This might be petrified wood here. That sure looks like it. Not very colorful, but it's got the texture. Petrified wood. This I don't think is petrified wood. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Probably banded iron again. I think I'll take these 3 and leave the rest. Alright, I think I'm done looking around on this hilltop for now. I'm Going to work my way down into this valley and then back up into those red hills over there. So hopefully I can make it down this steep slope without falling and breaking something. Let me put the phone away so I can use both hands and do some scrambling here. Well, I made it down the hill in one piece, and boy, there's a lot of interesting rocks on the side of this hill. That took me about 10 minutes to come down just because I had to stop and look at everything. There's a lot of banded iron on this side of this hill. Most of it's not very pretty dull looking, but I did find a couple of interesting things, made it into the bucket. I also found unfortunately it's broken, telephone pole insulator on the side of the hill there. If that was whole, that'd be a nice souvenir. And some of these things are actually valuable. And then I found this piece right here. That is a very interesting rock. Again, I think it's banded iron, but the bands are swirling around in there. It could be something else, but I think it's banded iron. So that's an interesting piece. A couple other interesting pieces went into the bucket as I was coming down the hill. So now I'm right at the base of these red hills. Let me work my way around in here a little bit, see if there's anything interesting. Let's see if there's anything fossiliferous in here, see if there's any bits of bone poking out, or, fossilized inverts. We'll see. Plus, looking for interesting rocks too. Let me get to looking, because I got an early start today because it's supposed to be wicked hot today, according to the forecast. Now, they also said it was supposed to be really windy today, and there's hardly a breath of wind, and it's already getting hot. So, I guess their forecast was half right. So, don't want to spend all day out here, be like Mad Dog and Englishman out in the noonday sun. So, let me look this over and move on up the road before it gets too hot. All right. I've come up into these red hills. Looks like we got some mushrooms or hoodoos over here, whatever you want to call them. And so far I haven't seen any fossils. And I've seen precious few stones that were worth collecting until I get right here. And then there's a whole bunch of them. It's almost like somebody dumped their collecting bucket out here. There's a lot of banded iron. Most of the banded iron out here seems to be almost solid yellow-orange jasper with very subtle banding in it. And there's this big old hunk right here. It's a much more interesting banding. Yellows, orange, reds, pinks. I think that's a keeper. That's a big stone though, and my bucket is way over there. I think I'm going to leave it right here and take it back to the bucket with me when I go. There's also some smaller pieces here. Now these would be nice for tumbling. So I'll put these in my nail apron I'm wearing here, just so they don't get lost. And there's some other interesting rocks right here. Not sure. I mean, it almost looks like petrified wood, but I don't think it is. That's interesting too. I might have to take that with me, cut into it, and see what it looks like. Here's another piece right over here. It's got some interesting patterning on it. I think if I cut into this, that's going to be really pretty polished up. So those three stones at least are going with me. Yeah, that's got some nice banding on it too. So that's a nice piece of banded iron. Okay, and then what's this stone? Yeah, look at that. Wow. Okay, I'm going to have a problem because I vowed to only fill my bucket half full because I got a long, steep trek back to the truck. And on our last rock hounding adventure, which I'll put a link to in the upper right, we filled our buckets up pretty good. And it took multiple rest stops to get back to the truck. And it's getting hot, so yeah, I might have to violate that rule though. Some of these rocks here are really pretty, and it's amazing that they're all in this one little area here. Like I say, it's like somebody dumped their bucket out. Maybe they were having the same problem with too much weight. I don't know. This is an interesting rock too. I'm not quite sure what that is. Anyway, I'm going to look around in these red hills somewhere. I'm going to leave all this stuff right here and maybe bring the bucket over to it. And grab my walking stick and do some more looking. Well, I seem to be getting into the better banded iron down here at the base of these hoodoos. I don't know how well that's showing up. Probably a little out of focus, but wow, that's got just about every color in the rainbow in it right there. Now, that's a keeper. I also found some smaller pieces, very colorful for tumbling. Sticking them in my nail apron as I go. But yeah, as I get up here, the banded iron's definitely getting prettier. Not so much solid yellow-orange jasper anymore. Got lots of bands and colors in it. All right, let me keep looking. All right, I am way over here. The hoodoos are behind me. I'm up on these red hills here. A lot fewer interesting rocks over here. But I'm looking for fossils right now. These bentonite clay hills are where we find a lot of fossils in other places. So whenever I see these, I gotta wonder if they contain fossils, because they're perfect for fossilizing stuff. So far I haven't seen any kind of fossils, but I'm gonna look around a little bit and then get back over into the interesting rocks by the hoodoos over there. Oh, let me see if I can find any fossils here. Well, I've scoured this area over here pretty thoroughly, and I don't see anything that looks like a fossil. All I found is a modern deer rib. So, no fossils. Not very many interesting rocks over here either, so I'm going back over by the hoodoos where it was really good. I'm actually kind of glad there aren't a lot of fossils sticking out of this stuff, because this material is rock hard. Excavating fossils from this would take power tools. Not like our easy excavating for the most part out in Nebraska, where we fossil hunt in bentonite hills like this. I'll put a link in the upper right to some of our fossil hunting adventures if you're interested. Check that out. Anyway, I'm going to head back over to the hoodoos and see if I can pick up any more pretty rocks before I head out of here and go to a new spot. I mean, it would take days to scour this area thoroughly, and a couple of people at least, so this is just sort of a reconnoiter. The wife and I can come back here sometime and really look it over. But let me get up around the hoodoos a little bit more, see if I find any more interesting rocks, to get back to the truck and head down the road and see what else awaits. All right, right here I am at the base of this hoodoo, and the interesting rocks have kind of petered out over here. They're all down slope over there. So, yeah. Interesting geology, though. Pretty colors. I mean, subtle greens and tans and reds and oranges and even some purple over there. Pretty colors. No fossils that I can see, and not many interesting rocks up here either. Okay, let me work my way back down, find those rocks I stockpiled, which now that I think about it, could be a problem. I should have built a cairn or something next to them. I'll find them, and then get them in my bucket and head back to the truck, and we'll see what else is up the road. Okay, found them. Found my stockpiled rocks. That took a few minutes. It's way up there by that hoodoo over there, and I had to zigzag across this hill here, so I couldn't quite remember where I left them. That's a mistake I've made before in the field. Piled up rocks, thinking I would come back and get them, and then not been able to find them again. I got to remember to build a cairn or mark the site somehow if I'm going to do that. But hey, on the way back over, look what I found. That is a nice piece of banded iron, and I'll tell you what, this face of it is almost perfectly flat already, so that should be really easy to polish. Nice. So I'll add that to the bucket. In fact, some of my early finds may get tossed out of the bucket to save weight. That's what I'm thinking. Just going to take the best stuff back. So let me go get my bucket and load up and start heading back for the truck. So I'm back at the bucket. On the way, found a little piece of agate. Not too shabby. All right, let me get this in the bucket, go get the other stuff, and find the truck somewhere over that big hill. All right, made it back to the truck. Well, my goal was not to fill the bucket more than half full. And when I left the red hills over there, it was about a third full, but I found some interesting stuff along the way. So, let me find a piece of it here. I'm not sure what this is, but it's interesting. I'm going to cut across it with a diamond lapidary saw and see what's inside when I clean that up. And there's another piece here that looks similar. If I can find it here in the right light. This piece. Can you see like that hexagonal pattern in there? This almost looks like fossilized coral. So I got that one. And I got another piece of it here. I'm kind of leaning towards these being fossilized coral. Very possibly. And I picked up a few other rocks along the way. I took a different path back to the truck than I went out. So, alright. I got a box in here I can put this stuff in so I don't have to carry it around in the field if I find another place to rock hound. So let me go up the road, a little further up into the mountains, and see what there is to see. Okay, back on the road. So head a little further up into the hills here and see what we can see. It's only 11:15, and it is stinking hot outside already. I'm a sweaty mess. You know it's hot in Wyoming if you're sweaty because the humidity's so low, the sweat it just evaporates right off you normally. But oof, hauling that bucket of rocks up the hill and back to the truck, got me a little sweaty. So yeah, let's head up the road here a bit and see what else there is to see. See if I can find another spot to do a little collecting before I call it for the day. Hey, come around the bend in the road. This has the look of a quarry up here. Somebody's been quarrying something. Could have just been road gravel for all I know, but I don't know. Might be worth a quick look. See what's going on over here. Alright, I've hiked into the quarry, and I think my first guess was right. I think this is a sand and gravel quarry, probably for materials for road maintenance. And it's been used recently. There's lots of big caterpillar tracks here. Some over there. Obviously they're separating out the big boulders and piling up the fine stuff. This huge pile of stuff over here looks like the stuff I've been driving on for the last few miles. So I think this is what they made the road out of. So I didn't see any interesting rocks on the walk over here from the truck. Just a few kind of bland looking banded iron pieces. I didn't collect anything anyway because didn't bring my bucket with me or anything because somebody obviously has a claim on the mineral rights to this spot, so you know it wouldn't be legal for me to collect here anyway. Let me walk back to the truck, take a slightly different route back to the truck and see if I see anything interesting. You know, a pretty rock or two might accidentally make it into my pocket, but so far I haven't seen anything worth even bending down to look at. Okay, on the way back to the truck, I found this little piece of agate, and it is little. It's not very big at all. And I was almost back to the road here, way far away from the quarry, so I'm calling it fair game. I'm keeping it. So, that's all I saw that was of any interest out there. It's just sand and gravel for road maintenance. That's all it is. Okay, let me get back on the road, speaking of, and see what else I can find out here. Back on the road again. Well, it's pretty lush over here on the right. Looks like a bit of a riparian area. There must be a stream going through there. We got some cottonwoods and some junipers and some other kinds of trees. Pretty green right there. So must be some water down there from time to time. Let's see what we got over this cattle guard over here and around the bend. Ooh, serious rock formations out here. Yeah. Wow, the road's snaking its way through them here. I'm looking what's beside the road. I'm not seeing anything interesting. It all looks like pretty badly tilted sedimentary strata. Get a lot of sandstone. Nothing too interesting. I wouldn't expect out there. Some conglomerate. And we're traveling beside this stream. It's really lush on the right and really Sahara-y on the left. Yeah, I'm still looking, going slow and looking. I'm not seeing any kind of interesting rocks out there. And I think this road was made with the stuff they were quarrying back in the quarry. This looks like the exact same stuff I'm driving on here. It's an impressive road, though. This is a beautiful drive. I'm just not seeing any interesting rocks. Looks like we got somebody camping back here by the stream. Yeah, I don't know if that showed up or not. Somebody's got their camper back there. Nice place to set up. Maybe do a little fishing. In the shade of the cottonwoods there. Keep it a little cooler today. It's supposed to be the broiler's supposed to be on full today out here. As you can see, not a cloud in the sky. That will be good for my astronomy endeavors tonight in the observatory. I'll put a link to my Ocean Lake Observatory videos. You can check those out if you're at all into astronomy. Yeah, we're kind of lush on both sides of the road down here. I think we are on the north side of the mountains now, so probably a little cooler, a little wetter over here. What we got here? We got a fork in the road. Which way do I want to go? I guess we'll try right-hand rules. Go to the right, go to the right, go to the right. When you're coming out, you go to the left, you go to the left, you go to the left. That way you don't get lost, you know? Let's go down the road a little ways and see what there is to see. So, a few miles up the road, a few cattle guards passed, and I stopped here at a road cut, and I'm looking at the rocks. It's getting more interesting. There's nothing especially cool here. There's a few pieces of not very interesting banded iron and some other stuff, but hey, the rocks are getting better. So, oh, I see a whole hillside of rocks up ahead. Holy cow. All right. So this might be worth a quick little reconnoiter. If I can find a place to get off the road far enough that I'm not blocking it. The occasional vehicle does come through. I've seen one the whole time I've been out here this morning. So, you know, somebody on a busy errand, I don't want to block the road. Get over far enough that somebody could pass me even if they're in a big truck. And then get out and look, there's a gulch over here. And there's a lot of rocks over there. I'll show you when I get over there. Oh yeah, we got rocks, let me tell you. Look at that strata over there. That looks like that's tilted pretty much vertical. Jumping right straight up out of the ground. Wow. Okay, let me look around a little bit in this area. See, I'm right next to the truck. I mean, I don't have to walk too far. Let me look around and see if I can find anything interesting here. This is cool. So I'm the first to admit, I didn't go to school for geology. Is this stuff schist? I don't know. Boy, it is tilted though. This is almost perfectly vertical, this stuff. A few pieces of quartz float here too. In amongst it, and some stuff with some really shiny crystals in it. tiny crystals. I don't know. Schist? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Got a whole mountain of it here. Let me go around this way towards where that gulch was and some other rocks I saw driving in. So there's a fair amount of this iron-stained quartz float around here. I would almost think this is gold country, except the name of the mountain is Copper Mountain. So probably copper sulfides in here. Maybe gold is a minor constituent. Interesting, colorful piece right there. So the fact that nobody's mining up here tells me there's probably not enough gold to be worthwhile. But certainly, this looks like the kind of stuff you'd be looking for if you were prospecting for a gold mine. Yeah, a little further along, those look like sulfide crystals in there. Pyrite, maybe. This is some pretty rotten rock, too. It's pretty soft. Definitely. You know what? I was talking about mining earlier. I was thinking this was a gulch. This might be a trench that was cut by miners. I'll bet you this was a trench right here from the look of it. Boy, it's deep and steep. Can't see enough water coming through here to carve that. So I'll bet that was a trench they cut. Maybe looking for this stuff. Huh. All right, I'm more convinced than ever that this trench here that I thought was a gulch is actually a mining trench. Maybe exploratory, maybe they cleaned it out. There's, I was finding that rusty quartz in places, and I can see there's a vein of it coming out of the hill right here, and this trench would have followed it. So I think they were mining something here. Oh, I'm glad I got off the road. Here comes a vehicle. Yeah, so I'm more convinced than ever that this was a mine. I don't see an easy way to get down to the bottom of this cut without risking breaking a leg. The sides are super steep and crumbly. So I don't think I'm going to go down there. We'll just leave that as a bit of a mystery what's down there. See if they left any good stuff. So let me look around a little bit. Looks like we got the same formation popping up over on the other side of the road though, and it's much easier to get to. This is a little odd. Looks like there was trenching here. I'll bet they were following the quartz vein through here. This is all backfilled after they chopped it out. Yeah. That's very odd. It's a trench all through here. It's all filled with big rocks now. Huh. Okay. They're definitely mining something up here. Copper, gold, I don't know. I'll have to do a little research on this area and see. Yeah, see that trench, it just continues. It's running pretty much parallel to the road. And there's a pit over there. Somebody's definitely been digging up here. And this is hard rock digging too. So they weren't doing it for fun or exercise. There must have been something here they wanted. So they were over here in this schist. And I'll bet they were going after schists, if that's what it is. And I'll bet they were going after quartz veins in here that had some kind of metal they wanted. It is Copper Mountain. We had copper, maybe with enough silver and gold in it to make it worthwhile. I don't know. Gotta do some research and see. So pardon my breathing hard. I just climbed up here. I'm back on the other side of the road again. Back up on this, I'm assuming schist, which is almost vertically tilted. And you can see here's another exposure of that quartz vein that's coming through the schist. And I'm pretty sure that this would have connected with the one down there in the bottom of that trench. And I think they mined it out. They may have started with a natural gulch where the vein was exposed, but I think they really dug it out to get at the vein, because it's really deep and steep. But yeah, look at the rust staining on that quartz. This is just the sort of thing you'd want to prospect for if you were looking for a gold mine. Or yeah, there's a lot of it up there. Look at that vuggy stuff up there. Yeah, very cool. So here I am right up on top of this quartz vein. I'll tell you what, it's pretty rotten. I can pull pieces out by hand. I think I'll take a few home with me. Maybe crush them up in my rock crusher and pan it out and see if there's anything good in it. I should have brought my rock hammer up here with me, but I didn't think about it. I was just coming up for a look. But yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. This is just the sort of stuff you'd be looking for if you're prospecting for a gold mine. I know I've said that a few times. Sorry for being repetitive. Let me see if I can pull out a few more chunks and then head back down to the truck. And we'll go up the road a little ways and see what else we can find. This is looking like good stuff here. Okay, so here's some material I managed to pull out of that rotten quartz vein up there with my bare hands. And some of it's pretty well mineral stained. Got some iron, got some green, probably copper. You know what? It smells a little sulfury too, so it's got some sulfides in it for sure. And then coming back down to the truck, I passed a big chunk of quartz that had obviously fallen down from that vein up there, way up there. And it had really heavy staining on one side of it. So since I was by the truck, I grabbed my rock hammer and knocked some pieces off. So I'll take all this stuff with me. I doubt there's too much gold in it, but you know what? It might be fun to crush it up and see if I can pan anything out of it. Just for S's and G's. All right, it looks like this is as far as we get to go. Nice pretty valley up ahead, but obviously somebody lives there. Ranch down there. Private property, no trespassing. Okay, so let me turn around and head back down and take the left fork at the fork for a little while. Well, it's almost noon, so it is getting stinking hot outside. I don't know how much collecting I'm going to do, but I might do some exploring from inside the air-conditioned truck, so that come out here on a cooler day and see if I can do some more collecting. Oh, here's something special. I'm still headed back towards the fork in the road. But look what's out there. We've got wild horses. Wild horses. This is all open range forever in every direction. There's no fences. These are wild horses. Small herd. Seen bigger herds bebopping around the mountains of Wyoming, but yeah, wild horses. Always cool to see. Alright, now I'm back to the fork in the road where I went right before, so this time I'll take the left one. Well, alright, so gotta head back down out of the mountains here. It looks like both forks of this road go up to private property, and I can't really do anything else, but that's okay. I think it was a pretty successful day of rock hounding and exploring out here in the mountains. I think I got probably got 50-60 pounds of pretty cool rocks in the back. A lot of really deep banded iron, some possibly fossilized coral. Boy, there is a lot of horse poop on the road. I bet these are from the wild horses we saw. So yeah, I got some other stuff too. A couple agates, three agates, I'm pretty sure. And just some other pretty rocks. Got that rusty quartz found up there by what I'm more and more convinced is an old mine site. I think it was probably more exploratory than anything. The fact that they didn't take the rest of that vein out leads me to believe they weren't getting, high enough values out of it to make it worth the trouble. But yeah, they certainly took a big section of that quartz vein out on one side of the road and all of it out on the other side of the road. So maybe the other side of the road was better. So, yeah, I think it was a pretty successful day, pretty successful outing. That Red Hills area, I barely scratched the surface over there where I found all that banded iron and other stuff, the fossilized coral, I'm pretty sure it is. Barely scratched the surface on that. Leslie and I could come back out here a dozen times and probably not, look over everything out there. We could find a ton of stuff out there. I just, basically gave it a once over. So, yeah, I guess I'm done for today. It's a little afternoon. It is stinking hot outside. It's getting bad. And I'm getting hungry, too. So I got some errands I need to do in town. I'm going to go in town, get some lunch, take care of my errands, and then head back to our ranch and sort through my rocks. Decide what I want to take back to Florida with me when I leave here in a few days, and cut and polish and play around with. I'll take the quartz stuff with me, crush it up, see if I can get any gold out of it. That should be an interesting exercise. All this stuff will keep me busy. All the rocks collected out here in Wyoming on this trip will probably keep me busy for a couple months, cutting and polishing and crushing and panning and whatnot. So, definitely a successful trip. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you found this video at all interesting, educational, informative, inspirational, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to see my future videos. There will be more. We'll be out here in Wyoming again soon, and we're going to Arizona too. We do a little rock hounding out there. I know some places to get lots of petrified wood. So yeah, subscribe to see my future videos and press the little bell icon that YouTube makes you press to be notified when new videos come out. As a subscriber, if you press that bell icon, you will get a notification when I release a new video. And check out my second channel, ElectroGeek64. Check that out too. Always good stuff going on over there. I've released a couple of videos that have gotten pretty popular, so check those out. And like and subscribe and press the bell icon there too. And all right, I am just about back to the highway, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Have a good one. Bye.